All right, we're live. Smile to the camera.
Woo!
Woo!
Hello, everybody.
She beat me to the punch. I love it. Welcome, Elena Cardone.
Thank you.
My name is Alex Vidal. I am president of Related ISG International Realty. I'm also a very nervous guy right now. You can see my hands are shaking. And I am also host of the show that you are watching today, Inquiring Minds Want to Know, continuing our segment with the most powerful women in real estate. I know you are going to love today's episode. So as I did last week in the prior episodes, if you love it, like it, love it, more importantly, share it, because the message that Elena is going to share with people today needs to be heard by everybody. And we have two quick sponsors just because we're here. Real quick, if you want to work for the best brokerage in the business connected to the most successful people in the country, not just real estate related, it's Related ISG International Realty. Call me, email me, text me, DM me on Facebook. Also brought to you by Brickell City Center. If you've ever been to Brickell City Center, I don't know if you've ever been. Have you go down to Brickell?
Yeah.
Okay. The most beautiful complex ever built is the Brickell City Center, the shops at the Brickell City Center, and then on top they have these amazing condo towers.
Oh, wow. No, I haven't been to the condo towers, but I'm sure they're beautiful. Okay.
It is beautiful.
The views in Miami, period, anywhere you are in Miami, it's just a beautiful city. You cannot go wrong with the views in an upper level condo or...
And an amazing tax climate too, which is even better.
Oh, yes.
All right, so I briefed Elena on what we're doing here. We have 10, 12 minutes max to get this going, and we have some really powerful questions. You ready?
Yes.
All right, let's go. I'm excited.
Okay.
I've been looking forward to this for the last several weeks.
Awesome.
Elena, I did a lot of research prior to this meeting, and you have an amazing backstory. And I would love for you to share with our audience a little bit about how you got to where you are today.
Well, I grew up in New Orleans. Okay. I left New Orleans at 17. I landed in Los Angeles. I became a model while I tried to pursue the acting career. I had success, up and down in the acting career for many, 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 many years. Finally met Grant Cardone, and eventually we got married, we had kids, and then we decided when California raised the taxes to 13.3%, we said adios. We landed in Miami, and I haven't been happier since I've been here. I love it here. I love the people. I love the tax benefits. I love so much about this city. But I came to where I am now because Grant and I really kind of got on the same page together as a couple and really tried to figure out how we can now fast track other people's success and into getting to where we are now, like much faster than we did it.
Okay, that's going to lead me right into my second question, because it's very clear. I mean, you guys are huge on social media, that you guys have an abundance in your life, which is a goal, I think, not only for myself and for my family, but for everybody that's watching. A lot of people would get to that point and just kind of say, hey, we're good. We're going to, we're young, we're going to coast, we're going to travel. What's the motivation today for you guys, or for you, to go out there and keep that pedal to the metal and continue crushing it the way you guys are crushing it?
Well, it is interesting because there have been hardships in our life, but even as transparent as we want to be and have to be, like we want to be, there are certain things that we can't talk about legally but there have been times when we have been just completely gutted and like slashed, like betrayals and stuff. And I was tempted to just say, you know what, I am done. Like, nobody's coming in, nobody's gonna see anything else, like, I'm done with this. Okay. And then I realized that the enemy, that person, would have won. And what keeps me motivated to continue is that, look, Grant's from a little town called Lake Charles, Louisiana. I'm from New Orleans. I grew up a little punk rock chick.
And you guys met in LA?
We met in LA.
How funny is that?
And we're both from Louisiana. And so it is very real to me that normal, ordinary people can turn their lives into extraordinary accomplishments and greatness if they have the right information and debunk the false information that they have. And so it really became a passion of mine to help create anyone who wants to build an empire that can look at my do's and don'ts and help them fast track. That's what I want to do. And it also, and another added benefit, is in putting myself on the line, it makes me accountable to the things that I say. So if I want to be a power couple, I better be a power couple and be a good example. If I'm telling people to not fight your partner because they're not your enemy. Like, go get real enemies where y'all can fortify. If I'm saying that, then I can't be an enemy to my husband in our house when I'm tempted to fight him.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So it's multi-purpose. I want to see, like, the normal people. I want us to rise to the top because I think we're better people, honestly, I'm just saying, than the people who are at the top right now.
So let me ask you a question. You said, no, I love it. And this is why you guys are crushing it, right? You talked about putting your goals out there. This is not even on here, so I'm going to divert it.
Let's do it.
Okay. A lot of people say hustle in silence. Don't tell anybody what your goals are. Just go out there and show it. I am of the opinion, like you, that you have to put it out there, because if you put it out there now, everybody's going to be holding yourself accountable, holding you accountable to get there.
Yeah.
Do you find that the same?
Well, I mean, there's certain things or certain projects that we're going on after, like, let's say a real estate deal that, no, we're not going to announce it. People can't know until they know and whatnot. But yes, in the big picture, I have made it known what I want to accomplish. Okay. And they're huge, ridiculous goals. I want to be known. I want us to be known by the entire planet. 7 billion people. I mean, it's a ridiculous goal. People are like, oh, like, is she that narcissistic? I mean, I run the risk of having to deal with other people's thoughts. Oh, she wants to be a billionaire. Oh, she's a this, a this, a this. But at the same time, if they knew what was in my heart and why I have those goals, I want to reach 7 billion people because I believe in our product. I believe I am my husband's biggest fan and his products can help people. And if you know about it, at least you have the data and you can have the opportunity to make your life, your family, your community's life better. And that's just what I believe. And I believe now that I've tapped upon something with this Build the Empire and how relationships can work and really support each other, and that I have information that now I'm swimming in the Kool-Aid and believe in, so I want people to know. And a billionaire, the concept behind billionaire, no, I really, honestly, the more money that I have amassed, the less I care about money. I don't care. I love nice clothes. Do not get me wrong. I love nice clothes. I love nice trips. I love nice cars. However, I don't care about it as much. Like I don't need things to define my identity or who I am. I don't care. I could show up in Target or Walmart clothes. If I like it, I'm wearing it. Like, I don't care. You know what I'm saying?
Which is so different in Miami.
But the billionaire concept, why I want him on the Forbes list, why I want to be a billionaire. I want to be a billionaire because imagine how many people would have to know our product and have bought into the product in order to make us billionaires. And not only that, but I mean, if I have this much or I have this much, can I help more people with this or can I help more people with that? So that's the goal of the billion. But some people are going to say what they're going to say, you know, and some people just have a hard time saying that.
Well, and I think it's funny because out of Grant's book, Be Obsessed or Be Average, and I'm a fan not only of Be Obsessed or Be Average, but a fan of also Cardone University because we enlist in it. I love it. I watch it every day. But he says in the book, when people tell you they can't do something, they're not telling you that. They're just talking to themselves and trying to convince themselves why they couldn't do it, or they failed at it, or they could never even dream of even trying it. So I'm a fan of going big. I mean, what's the point, right?
Yeah.
The tag on my car, I shared it with you once, is LTFS. Life's too effing short.
Oh, I love it.
You got to go. Now, you talked about being gutted sometimes. I love our questions are just going right into it. We talked. The next question is staying motivated and in a positive mindset is a daily practice, right? We all get the crap beat out of us. I'm wearing my pin, and this is my company pin, and it's an alligator on roller skates drinking a cup of coffee. Because we say that if you're going to work for Related ISG, you need to have alligator skin so that things can bounce off of you. Coffee because we don't sleep, and roller skates because you move fast.
Love it.
So having been gutted and having gone through those trials and tribulations, what are the habits or systems that you have in place to stay in a positive mindset?
Well, we always put things into the future that we're constantly working towards. So my husband and I do the show called the G&E Show. I have a show called Women in Power. We're doing the 10X Boot Camp, the 10X Growth Con. You know, so we constantly put events so that we have to always keep focusing on the next thing, forward, to get your mind off of those things. Now, for a physicality and for my mental sanity, I love to do things like workout, martial arts. I love shooting.
We're going to talk about that. Hold on, that's my lightning round questions.
Oh, okay. But yeah, so there's outlets like that where you have to just kind of let off the steam and whatnot. But to keep us motivated, we constantly do things and set things up in the future that we're held accountable to.
So you may be gutted today, but your focus is on the future, and that's what keeps you going.
Well, okay. For instance, the time I was gutted really badly because I architect a lot of the stuff. We're such a perfect couple for each other because I think of things and I can't execute like he does. I don't have that ability. It's just like it would take me years to. And he's just the hammer. So we're perfect for each other. But the time that we were gutted, that's when I wanted to give up. And, it was brutal. I really suffered for like a month, like where it was just like I had nothing in me. It took everything I had to I wanted to just, it really did a doozy on me. I really wanted to forget my role. I wanted to forget my power. I wanted to be normal. I just wanted to go to a club and get drunk, Like, that's not the answer. Like, I can't just all of a sudden say, oh, now I get to be teenager girl and forget that I'm, I have worked for and am in power now, So I wanted, and then I realized with that behavior, that's exactly what they wanted. They wanted to suppress me. They want me to go down. They want me to implode on myself. And then that's when I came up with, out of that, saying, how can I get even? And after I thought of every reason I could get even that was not beneficial to my survival, I thought, you know what, that's not going to help me to cause harm to somebody. How can I really do this? And that's what gave me the birth of the idea of, you know what, let's just... To get over that, let's become global. Okay. How do we become global? Let's put flags in the ground all over the continent. So that's what gave me the idea for the licensee program. So now licensees all around, and it gets our message. And then that's what gave me the idea. Before, I never wanted investors. I never wanted to deal with anybody else. But I always wanted to be a billionaire. And at around 10,000 units, that's where we are. We're almost halfway there. But then I thought, why am I thinking so small? Why am I going for $1 billion when I could be going for $10 billion? Which I haven't told Grant yet.
I'm sure he will.
Grant was he was upset when he first heard the term billionaire years ago. That was a big fight. It was a big fight. But then I thought, you know what? We could do it alone. And it would take us about 5 to 10 years, or we could open this up to accredited at the time. Sure. Now we're doing it non-accredited as well. But if we did that, then we could get there in half of the time. Not only that, but we'd be helping the little people, and we'd all be coming up together. And then I could be like, to that person, to that group, like, hey,
use it for fuel for your fire.
Yeah, use it for fuel, and I wanted to be successful. And the more I focused on the positive of that, and now we're implementing these projects, I have I don't even care. Like, it doesn't even.
It's not even on your radar.
It's not even on my radar. Right. Like, I don't want hurt, harm, or vengeance anymore. Like before, I was thinking really horrible thoughts. Those just don't exist.
It all goes through our mind. It's okay.
It's yeah. And then I was like, you know what, flourish and prosper.
Guys, if you were able to somehow zoom into Elena's eyes, you would see the passion and the fire and what's happening. I thought I had a lot of energy. By the way,
love crazy eyes.
You do this a lot. You pound the table.
I know. I'm like.
I get yelled at every time we finish one of these. You're like, ouch, you pound the table too much. I'm like, I do it. I love it. No, do it. I love it. I do too.
I'm so energetic.
Now, you are, that I know of, the best example of stepping out of the shadows of a successful partner and having paved your own path. What are the biggest actions that you've taken to make that happen?
Well, that really wasn't the intention at first. It was Grant who actually said, I want you to speak at the first 10X Growth Con that we had. He said, I want you to speak. And I thought to myself, what am I going to speak on? I don't really, there's a lot of things about business I do understand, but that's not my forte. So what am I going to speak on? Mm-hmm. And then I thought, well, the only thing I know how to speak on is what I do behind the scenes. Okay. And how I just assist. Like, nobody knows what I do. And then I thought about it. So that's what I delivered in the first 10X Growth Con speech. Now, the feedback from that was, then I realized, wow, I had no idea that people don't think like me. I thought everyone thought like I do. Mm-hmm. Like, I just thought this was common knowledge. And then I realized, wow, this isn't common knowledge. Like, people really need help in this area. You have people and couples that are operating and doing this thing and doing their thing, and they're going off in two different directions, and they're not figuring out how to unify and push each other to like really skyrocket. Sure. And
we call that parallel marriages. You know,
Yeah.
they coexist, but
Yeah.
they're not intertwined with each
Right,
other.
and they can actually hold you back, you know. And so anyway, that's how it became. And then I started to think about it, and I thought, wow, I wish when I was ready to jump into this world and kind of support my spouse, I wish I had somebody that I could look to say, what are the do's, what are the don'ts, how can I do it faster, or what can I do? And that's when I realized, well, what billionaire family, because that's what I was looking at, wife, can say what they do in their role to help me, and there were none. And then that's when I realized, you know what, I have an obligation to help other people that are interested, male or female, you know, because it doesn't matter who does what role, as long as you know who in the relationship is good at what role, and then you put that person in charge of that thing, and then they run that.
Got it.
You know what I mean?
No, absolutely. Now, so this may be the same answer for our next question. We have a ton of women viewers. For the women that are watching, or maybe anybody for that matter, what advice can you give our viewers, our women viewers in this case, on how to become a woman power player in any industry?
Well, okay, the first thing you have to do to become a power player is you have to realize who you are. Like, who are you? What is your brand? What do you represent? And then you have to build that value. You have to become an asset. You can't just sit back and wait for someone to either make you feel good or entertain you, or you can't wait for anything to come to you. You should spend all of your free time figuring out in who you are and what your product is, what you contribute to society, and focus on how you can accentuate that to build value, so that you then become the opinion leader or the person that people want to say, what is it that you're doing? Like, how can I be like you? So I would cut down on all the BS time, the fluff time, and really figure out how to hone in onto making yourself an asset, not only to yourself, but to your partner if you have one, or to society, or to others, and that's it.
That's great advice. I think whether you're male or female, that's amazing advice. Now, we've talked a lot about the power of the relationship. And granted, no relationship is perfect, but based on what we can see, at least from the public eye, you and Grant have an amazing relationship. What's the single greatest piece of relationship advice that you can give the viewers?
Well, it's what I said earlier. You have to have an awareness that you represent something as a couple, not just as yourself. What he does, what she does, and then somehow y'all are in this monogamous relationship and that's the end of it. No, it's who are you as a unit, and what do you represent, and what are you willing to do, or are you willing to do whatever it takes to build each other and hold yourselves accountable to build greatness, to be the example to your kids, to be the example to your grocer, to the valet guy at the restaurant, like and show up continuously and put your goals together as a power couple, and then live up to that responsibility.
That's a beautiful thing. As I told you, one of my crushing and beautiful thing, lightning round.
Okay.
You know, it's funny because I find myself not only interviewing you, but I'm sitting here and I'm absorbing it. So I almost have to find my position again. I'm not a pro at this. I'm a real estate guy. I'm a president of a real estate company. So I think I do this as much for the viewers as I do it for myself, because the information is so valuable that I get lost.
I do that too. When I do a show called Women in Power, and when I interview some of the girls, like last week I did Lisa Morales, and she was talking about social marketing and branding. I was taking so many notes, I forgot to keep asking her questions. I was like, oh, okay. It was great though, so I understand.
Lightning round question. Okay. We know you're a shooter. What's your favorite weapon?
The AR-15.
The AR-15.
Well, yeah, the rifle. It's just a perfect weapon for women in particular. It's up close. It's just so accurate, and you can shoot that 200 yards easily. Anything beyond that, you kind of have to have some skill. But to 200, so it's like far, close. It's just a beautiful weapon. It's easy. It doesn't have a lot of recoil, other than it can be a little heavy if you're in a match for a long time. But it's an awesome piece of equipment.
We have a Glock 9. It was our first gun, and so I'm going to answer.
That's a good carry weapon. I like those too.
It is. I'm going to answer this question as well. Who's a better shot, you or Grant?
Definitely me.
Yeah. And you know what? My wife is a better shot than me too.
Yeah.
So we go to the range. She does an amazing job. Favorite sport to watch?
Football. I love my
college or pros.
The pros.
All right, so next question. Who's your favorite team?
The Saints.
The Saints. Got it. Do you watch college football at all?
No.
No, not your deal?
Mm-hmm.
I love college football because they're not playing for the money. They're playing for the right to earn the big bucks. So the passion and the energy, we're Gator fans. And if you go to a Gator FSU game, you just don't sit down. Like we were watching.
It's just so alive.
It is.
And those young people have the spirit.
It is. And the Gators beat LSU this weekend. And it was, we were at a friend's house and we were yelling and screaming. They're looking at us like they're not football fans.
Yeah.
Like, what's wrong with you guys? Amazing. What's your favorite sport that you actually do?
I just got into MMA, the mixed martial arts world, so I just started.
So you shoot guns and MMA?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and I train with the real deal guys.
Got it.
You know, I'm so blessed to have guys that have patience with me and take me seriously because, you know, I show up and I'm just me, like, oh, how do you punch, you know, and they don't laugh at me, they actually show me. So I've started Muay Thai and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but I'm brand new. So I'm not a pro, but I love it. That's what I love to do. And then, of course, my 3-gun. Yeah, my 3-gun, you know. That's...
Yeah, Jaime, a good friend of mine, Jaime Shalem, who's one of the top Aventura police officers, does Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu too. And he's 40-something years old, ripped, got him in great shape.
I love it. It's addicting. I can't believe I didn't discover this years ago.
We actually, one of the things we wanted to do in our company was to protect our agents. So we brought Jaime to talk to our agents about what they can do to not put themselves in a position of danger. And then we brought some of the top Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu instructors down to teach our agents, okay, if somebody grabs you by the wrist, if somebody grabs you from behind, what are the things you can do to, and we actually practiced
That is the thing. When I started at KO Zone here in Miami with Diego, I went to him knowing I had zero chance. So I was like, I'm coming to you to stand a chance.
Okay.
Like, I mean, do I think I can win against a 220-pound man? No,
Maybe.
But I want to stand a chance. Like before I went to Diego, a headbutt was not even in the realm of my consciousness.
Okay.
Elbows, knees, I can stomp on their feet. I know angles. I mean, I learned some other stuff. Ears you can pull off with 6 pounds of pressure. You could rip off a lip. I mean, stuff. You know, a knife. It goes in, you twist and slash out. Like I never thought like that before I went in, and I don't know why that excites me. I'm like, you know what? I feel like I stand a chance. I never want to have that situation. I never want to be confronted with that. But at least I feel for the first time in my life, you know what? At least I won't go into complete overwhelm and like. You know, at least I can pretend and fight back. At least I have I have big guys that I train with that when they come at me, it is overwhelming. And I think to myself, okay, just breathe and just go. You know?
I know for a fact my wife is watching this. She was going to try to make it today because she wanted to meet you. And a few years ago, she would do MMA. Now we do CrossFit. I know for a fact when she sees this interview,
she's gonna want to go back.
She's gonna want to go back. She would come home and show me her hands, and they were all red, and like the pump that she had, the adrenaline rush.
The adrenaline, I love it. I know.
Last question, not 2 last questions, 3 actually. I'm gonna add a couple more.
Okay.
Something we'd be surprised to know about you.
Well, I didn't realize people were surprised to know this about me until it came out in my book. But there was a time in my life when I worked on cars.
Okay.
So I actually, with NASCAR crew pit chiefs and whatnot, I actually changed an entire engine in my '65 Chevelle Malibu RSSS. It was a big victory for me. I mean, like, they helped me, but I did everything. I mean, putting in the high performance and putting everything back together. And so I did that, and
So what's your favorite car?
I love a GTO, but I mean, I love GTOs, I love Camaros, I love a 62 split window Vet.
Okay.
That's a pretty hot car for a chick. Oh my God. You know, and then of course I had a 65 Chevelle Malibu. Okay. It was a convertible.
So you like fast cars?
I like fast cars, and I like 60s cars.
Got it.
You know?
I just recently bought a Ford Raptor, which is like the super Ford performance F-150 pickup. It's like 450 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 5 seconds. I don't let my wife drive it though. I should probably let her drive it more often. Now, you talked about MMA fighting. I know that because I happen to follow you on Instagram. Where can people follow you? And then this is one of the last 2 questions. Okay. Where can people follow you?
They can follow me. I'm really great on Instagram at Elena Cardone, ELENA. On Facebook, I'm Elena Cardone, WIP, Women in Power, Elena Cardone. And on everything else, I'm Elena Cardone.
Got it. All right. Last question. You literally just had your first book published. It's showing behind us. I couldn't even fathom what it would take to get a book published. So major congratulations.
Thank you.
Tell our viewers what your book is about, why they would love it, and where they can buy it.
Okay. The book was Building an Empire. Again, it was for any person that wants to think bigger or who has big thoughts and with a purpose, and how to just A to B, what are the tools you need to do this, and how you can acquire more people, get on the same page. So I built it. I wrote this book for other people to really step into the shoes and take ownership and accountability and responsibility for becoming really who we all have the potential of being.
That's right.
So that's why I wrote the book. I'm really excited about it. The audio version is available now. The book is going.
Did you read the audio version?
Yeah,
Oh,
I did
sweet.
it myself. Yeah,
I did the audio version of Be Obsessed or Be Average, and I think that's what really gave it the flavor.
Yeah,
the author,
because
it was him.
Yeah, he's so great. He riffs. I don't do a whole lot of riffing, but
Okay.
I did a little. But that's available if you go to ElenaCardone.com/empire and pre-order the book.
Okay.
The audio will be for free.
All right, and what we'll do is at the end, we'll share in the comment sections how you can buy the book. I don't have any more questions. We're done. We may have gone longer than 10 minutes. I don't care. This was probably one of the most fun interviews I've done thus far.
Awesome.
Elena, thank you so much.
You're so
I really appreciate you taking the few minutes with me and for our viewers to learn more about you and about your book. And I learned a lot, and I hope they did too. And again,
Awesome.
Thank you so much, Elena.
Yay.
All right, I'm going to go behind the camera.
Okay.
Say whatever you want. Say
Okay.
bye. Smile.
Bye, everybody. I hope you join our group and follow me on anything. Elena
right.
Cardone.
We're done.